Okay, so this is a video on known perimeter, and this is where things get a little complicated because once students have either perimeter or area down, then they get a little confused of how to decipher between the both. So one thing that I should have explained if you watched the area video first is that, I'm going to skip a couple ahead, is that I have a square in the room, and I used green on the inside, and all of the grass, that is your area. And so that is all the, for lack of a better word, stuff on the inside. And then if I were to build a fence, oops, along the edge, around the outside, you get the gist, that would be my perimeter. So area inside, perimeter outside. So I'll put the equation up top for perimeter. We know that perimeter equals the length plus the length plus the width, and that never changes. And so we find this stuff a little differently. So this question says the perimeter of a square plate. So first I know what we are talking about, a square. I'm going to go ahead and draw it and I know that all of the sides are equal. And we know that the perimeter is 32 centimeters. So a thing that I tell the students is write down what you know as you go so you don't get overwhelmed at the very end of the question. They want us to find the length of one of the sides. Okay, so we can go back to what we know. We know that whatever the length is, the width has to be the exact same number. So again, we are plugging in numbers if we have them. And in this case, we do not. We do not know the length and we do not know the width. So if we do not know the length and we do not know the width, we have to work with what we do know. We know that in perimeter, you are talking about the outside, so you have 4 sides to a square. So in this case, we would take the perimeter and we would divide it into 4 sides. And our answer would be just one of the sides. So we can check our work at the end by adding all of them up to see if we were correct. And so we could say, well, we could have 4 groups of 8, and 4 ones times 8 ones is 32 ones. Subtract and get 0. So our answer that we believe to be true is 8. So a way we can check this is by saying, okay, well, we know perimeter equals length plus width plus width, and we think that all of the sides are 8. So does 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, or 8 times 8 for some of my kiddos, does that equal 32? And it does. So that's our check, and we know 8 is the correct answer. This one, for perimeter, you do not square your answer. We would just say 8 centimeters would be the answer for this one. Okay, so this one, the perimeter of a rectangular pool table. So stop right there and draw your rectangle and draw what you know. You know that parallel sides are equal. Also, before we start the problem, we could even say, well, what's the formula? And it's perimeter equals length plus width, because if I were building a fence, I need to know, well, the length of this plus this plus this plus this. If I rolled it out, I would get one big long fence to wrap around the perimeter. So the pool table, we know that it is 64 feet. And we also know that the width is 4 feet. So I'm going to stop there and I'm going to say, okay, they gave me my perimeter at 64 feet. They also gave me my width, so they gave me something. So our width, we would say, is 4. And we know opposite sides are equal, so we could put a 4 on the opposite side. And I'm going to color code those so you can kind of follow along a little better. And what we do not know is what is our length. That is what they're wanting us to find in this problem. So we need to plug in what we know into our formula. So perimeter is 64. And that equals the length plus the length plus the width plus the width. And we substituted the P with the 64 because we know that is the perimeter, and we substituted the W's in the equation with the given width of 4. So we start by what my kids like to call making it smaller, making the equation or the problem smaller. So we're going to keep that 64 and then do what we know. Well, we don't know the length plus the length, but we do know 4 plus 4 is 8. And so this kind of is a little like area when we have to get, or we want to focus on getting the numbers on one side, the letters on the other. So in order to do that, I have to do the opposite equation to get the 8 over by the 64. And the opposite of addition would be subtraction. So I would have 64 minus 8, that's how I can get them on the same side, equals length plus length. So 64 minus 8 gives us 56. 56 equals length plus length. So 56 means that you are taking this side plus this side, but they only want to know one of the lengths. So in order to find just one of the lengths, we have to split that 56 in half. And so we would have to take this number of 56 and divide it into two sides. And when I say that I have two groups of, I'll just do 28 because there it is, two groups of 28. So 28, that means that we believe the answer up here for the length is 28, and down here has to be the same because it's a rectangle. So a way to check our work would be 28 plus 28 plus 4 plus 4. And if that equals 56, then we got the length correct, which it does. So the length of one of the sides would be 28 feet. So just to kind of wrap up this video, hopefully you watched the area one already, but here is our two equations up top. Area equals length times width, and then perimeter equals length plus width plus width. You can draw it, you can write it, and then do what you know. So that's a couple of little pointers I would like you to take away from this video. I will be attaching two pictures onto this, into the same email that I'm sending these videos. And I am just going to show you our anchor charts here in the classroom, so you can use that for another resource to help. So I hope these videos help you out. Have a good day.